It is a real thing. And I'm pretty sure if you look down deep in the comment section, you're going to find some of the people talking about how skinny I am. And I'm kind of used to it, to the point that I have killed that nerve of people making fun of the fact that I'm skinny. But also, as I grow older, I find a lot of people appreciate that as well, because a lot of people just want to be this skinny by the time they're 29 years old. Okay. So you look a lot younger when you're skinnier, because by default our perception is that you gain weight as you grow up. So it is lesser of a problem now that I have crossed that 25 years mark. But it really used to be an issue when I was young, like I was in teenage, because you know that as a boy, being physically strong is also a big thing. You do not want to be bullied, you do not want to be beat up, and fights and stuff does happen when you're growing up. I know people are getting more and more civilized, but we all have that monkey in us, right? So being skinny is the worst case scenario when you're very young, because when you are like early 13, 14, you're also not tall, and they're bigger guys. There are guys who are like older than you, 2 years older than you, and you're like scared all the time of them not getting beat up. That's not a real problem amongst girls, I would say. Like, imagine a girl beating down another girl in a playground. No, that does not happen as much. Now, exceptions are not examples. We all know that. We have all come to an agreement with that. So I guess that's not a question. So it's a thing with the guys. But if you go to that podcast where me and Komal were talking about, girls are also like skinny shamed all the time, right? And sometimes it becomes worse than worse for girls, because of the physical features, which I'm not ready to discuss right now. Maybe me and Komal is going to discuss that again one more time. But for boys, it's an issue as well. Now, I do not understand why you would say that a guy is not good looking if that guy is skinny. All right. And this is something that has not been represented as much. It's even like, I'm not going to say the term, but it is frowned upon to say the term fat, at least in United States. But it's not frowned upon to call a person you're too skinny, right? Now, especially when it comes to India, I think Bollywood has always been setting the gold standard of how a man should be looking. And let's start with Salman Khan to now Shah Rukh Khan to John Abraham to Tiger Shroff to Hrithik Roshan, and all of them are juiced out of their mind, and they are so muscular, man. So when an Indian guy is not, of course, first of all, there's a giant misconnection between the beauty standards that are set by Hollywood or Bollywood compared to what you look like in real life. In real life, people do not look like that. Trust me, they did the shoot, and before that, they went for a whole like weight cut. They only had like broccoli, rice, and chicken breast, and a lot of times, like you see fighters doing that weight cut, that intense weight cut. A lot of times they will do that for a shoot or just few minutes of recording, because they want to look that ripped. Like you look at that guy. Who is that guy? Movie with Rock, Baywatch. Yeah, what is his name? Jack Efron. And look at his abs. You are never ever going to see a random guy walking on a beach with those kind of abs. It does not work like that. But if we compare our beauty with what we see on screens or what we see from these Instagram models these days, none of us look good. All of us are ugly. So why should we live thinking that when the person that we are comparing ourselves, he or she himself themselves do not look exactly what they look like for a photo shoot, right? And I do not, honestly, for the longest time, I always used to think that I'm too skinny, because that's what I've been told my entire life, man. Till the age of 18, any relative that I would ever meet would say me one thing for sure. I could even bet all my money, but then again, I did not have any money till I was 18. But I would if I had any, that they are going to for sure say that, hey, why don't you eat? Because you are too skinny. Like, dude, I'm eating like 10 chapatis. Honestly, I was eating that much. And if you do not know, there are three different classifications of human anatomy, a human body, or how much weight we gain. There's an ectomorph, there's mesomorph, and there's endomorph. Endomorph people just can eat air and swallow up. Ectomorph can eat an entire elk and still remain the same. And mesomorph are like, they can be waking up 12 o'clock in the morning, drinking chocolate shake, and still look pretty muscular. So different people have different genetics. Genetics are a real thing, at least when it comes to physical features. And I know that anybody can change a lot. Like if I want to bulk up and as look like those Greek gods, I can do that, obviously, but I would hate myself when I was doing that, because I'll be taking the diet that I hate. And also, I'm not a professional bodybuilder, right? So why would I invest that much time? And why would you hate when I'm skinny, right? And the only reason, like I said, so many years, first of all, the relatives calling me too skinny, too skinny, too skinny, and then coming into the social media platforms and everybody saying, hey, you're too skinny. I'm going to put some of the posts over here. And it's not only an Indian thing. Like I'm on TikTok, which is not even in India, and you'll see some of the Americans, or I don't know, non-Indians saying these stuff. And I'm going to put some of the screenshots over here. And the only reason I'm discussing this is that I can only imagine how many guys and girls there are who are skinny and being told the same thing every day. And if I have to talk to them, and now, guys, if you're a little bit chubby, don't you feel alienated over here? But maybe you'll be able to relate to your skinny friends more now. Some people just cannot gain weight, man. And to you people, I'll say that you will love this fact when you grow up and you can literally eat anything and still remain more or less in shape. But growing up, the kids are like told way too much, which will ultimately end up developing some kind of insecurity. Like I told you, right? Like when I got into the college, I was 18 years old. I was super introvert and I could not talk to any new random stranger. I could not talk to teachers. I was not able to make proper eye contact. Why is that? Because the entire life till that point, people have been telling me basically that I do not look good, right? That's what they're basically, you're too skinny. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? That I need to gain some weight because I do not look good right now, or at least that's what I heard. So if you listen to this again and again, and I told you I started eating like 8 chapatis, 9 chapatis, 10, which is also like wrong. That's not how you gain weight. You're not even taking care of proper nutrition or what your body really needs if you want to bulk up. Like, first of all, these uncles and aunts, they do not know what's going on scientifically, but they say these things and they just say, eat more, eat more, eat more. And all you're gaining in the best case scenario in this case would be fat. In the worst case scenario, you are gaining a lot of insecurities, man.